Alright, hey everybody. So I wanted to make a video that described some things you can do to improve your aiming when you're playing a game like Tom Clancy, The Division. This works in a lot of FPSs in general, like this isn't specific to Tom Clancy's, but it works here too. And one of the major differences is just this cover mechanic that you can use to help yourself aim before you even pop yourself out. The first thing that I do when I kind of get into a game is aim. Like, see how long it takes before it becomes an accurate shot. So if I just pop a shot off, it misses, right? But if I aim for a second, then pop a shot, it's going to hit that dead center accuracy like every single time. I am using a sniper rifle. It's not, you know, the best sniper rifle, but it is a sniper rifle nonetheless. And the reason you want to use a sniper rifle for like aiming is because you have to be accurate for it. In every other gun, there's going to be a mechanic, and we'll get to that later, that you have to deal with when you're using it. But for the sniper rifle, it's the same mechanic that you deal with on every other gun. It's just way more accurate. So when you're working on your accuracy, you want to be sure that you're being accurate and that it's being accurate. So we're just eliminating a variable so that we can practice our shots, right? Now the first one that I like to practice is, I think it's called the sweep. So like we're aiming over here and we want to shoot this 25 speed limit sign. So the sweep is that you move right, and when you cross it, you fire. Try not to stop the motion when you're first doing this, but how? That's the goal, is that you want to sweep across, and when you meet with that 25 mile an hour sign, you want to shoot it. This is right outside the base of operations, by the way, so there's definitely a sign you can shoot. Of course, you can go to your targeting range. Targeting range is probably pretty good because that's a lot of sweeping, but that involves vertical motion, and we don't want to work on up and down yet. We just want to work on side to side because that's the most common thing you're going to do, is looking around. You can blind fire, but blind fire is pretty inaccurate, and I mean there's a couple guns that you can release blind fire on, but not a sniper rifle. So the sweep is just going one direction, and when you cross your point, fire. Then go back. It's harder going left because your character's on the left, so you can always switch, right? So you want to go this way, pow. Switch. Oh, too far. And as you get faster and faster, you'll be able to do this a little bit better. The whole point of the sweep is to train yourself to move your aim until you reach a point, and then fire your gun, that one shot that you need, as you keep going in your sweep. Typically you'll be in cover, and a sweep won't be as effective here, right? But it's still going to be something you'll want to do because there might be an enemy over here somewhere while you're trying to go, like, you've got your cover against someone that's on the other side of this truck, right? But then there might be someone flanking you, and you'll need to quickly sweep across and shoot them, right? So that's the kind of scenario that happens a lot in FPS games. And you're in one spot, you're looking in one direction, and you'll need to sweep across to another location. And once you get good at it, you can stop moving when you reach your vector point and just start firing blind shotting bullets in that direction. Most games don't work out well with blind fire shots like that, but in Tom Clancy's, you can suppress an enemy simply by shooting near them. You can even stop an enemy from charging you if you blind fire into them like that. Some of the bullets will hit, some of them won't. You always want to be accurate, but when you're just starting out and you're working on your accuracy, you just want to put some bullets around your enemies to put them into cover, and that will stop them from charging. This doesn't work later in the game, but it'll work in the early game. So the other gun that I have is an assault rifle, and this gun is really good for sweeping because I don't really care how close to them I get. I just need some of those bullets to hit them and stop them in their tracks. And once they're stopped, I can simply line up that shot, wait for them to pop out, throw a few bullets at them. Right? So the other aiming technique, once you get the sweep down, right? So sweeping is just left and right motion. You definitely want to be able to do left and right. The other aiming technique, I think, is called the box technique, where you move vertical, and then you move right, and then you start to fire. So in this case, you know, we're aiming like up at the sign or something like that, like there's someone on the roof, I don't care what. But we know that there's another person over down to the bottom. So we readjust to eye level, and then we sweep across. Then we just start firing. The reason why you only work on one at once is because predicting what vector you need to like angle down like this, like if we're aiming up here, you'll probably miss and then have to start circling it, right? So you want to get to that 25-mile-an-hour sign, but you'll miss, and then you'll have to do that again, and you'll keep missing until you get like better and better at just that diagonal angle. So to speed that up, you just move in a box motion, right? Box. This works on any corner. It's called box because you're making a corner. It's just a 90-degree corner by moving, you know, lining it up on one of the axes first and then hitting it. You almost always want to use up and down first so that you get to the right level that you need, and then sweep to the right point that you need. So that's why you work on the sweep first, is because you'll be using it on just about everywhere you go. But when you're at different elevations, you'll want to use the box, where you go to the right level, then you sweep across. In practice, what ends up happening is that you need to get to that 25-mile-an-hour sign fast, but you're also moving and you're trying to get into cover. So you'll want to cover yourself and line up your shot so that when you pop out of cover, you can just fire. So what that's called is strafe shooting. Now I'm moving and my shot's pretty lined up, right? But it's lined up outside of cover, and inside of cover it's a little bit off, right? And we know that I'm going to strafe and shoot and then go back into cover. I'm not using the cover mechanic, so that's why this works in just about every FPS. This is the cover mechanic, right? But I'm not using that here. I'm just going to line up a shot outside of my cover and then shoot as I go in and out of cover. Now, they can shoot through car windows, and that is totally a problem. But at least you've got cover to your right-hand side for the moment. You know, it's more preferable to stay in cover like this, because you can always pop, shot, go back down. The pop shot is pretty useful too, especially with a sniper rifle. There's an auto aim that happens when you use a pop shot, and if you accurately can point your gun at their head, then when you pop out, it'll actually do a little bit of aim assist and tracking on their heads or wherever you had it pointed when you first popped out. So you can quickly do a pop shot like that, and you'll be able to get their heads like in every single time. It's ridiculously accurate when you do it that way. If you try to manually aim those kind of pop shots, they're way too slow, right? I don't have a good example of the pop shot auto assist aim, but trust me that the pop shot is worth knowing. It also reduces your chance to be hit, but when you're under heavy fire, you cannot pop shot. You are being suppressed, and you just need to stay down for a moment. You need to stay down and switch to an assault rifle or something with a lot of bullets, maybe a shotgun, because they're suppressing you so that they can charge you. Well, I think that covers it for the beginning thing. We covered strafing, the box technique, right? And then we covered, yeah, the strafe shot. I call it strafing. We covered sweep, box technique, and then the strafe shot, where you strafe yourself into your target. There's one last technique, but I don't actually end up using it. I think it's really hard to do, and that is like this circle technique, where so you're spamming shooting, or you're shooting some kind of rapid fire thing, and you need to spin your stick in a circle continuously, because you'll be continuously making adjustments to how that shot is fired, and you'll almost end up going down, because guns automatically go up when you fire them. Let's see if I have a really good example on me. I don't think I do. I might have one in my stash, but I don't have one now. But like even this gun, every time I shoot it, it goes up. So if I just keep shooting it and keep shooting it, my aim ends up being higher than when I started. You know, we can easily do this on a wall and see what happens. And so for every gun, you're going to want to be able to counter that. The best way to counter this, Wow, this gun is actually really accurate. But the best way to counter it is to practice this and start aiming down to get it in a little bit tighter. See, like that time I hit a lot more bullets into the same spot, whereas in this clip you can see it's a little bit more widespread. Assault rifles, and I'm using a burst fire assault rifle, which is terrible for this example, but an assault rifle or a light machine gun are great examples of this. I mean, they will drive the recoil will drive it all the way up this wall, like to about this angle on the last one I was using. And I mean, you can see that after the first couple shots, every other shot about that is going to miss. So what I practice doing is shooting into this wall, and as I shot the wall, I would counteract the aim or the recoil with my own stick, and eventually I got it down where I was getting really accurate with that gun. And then when I took that into combat, you know, I knew that I needed to move my stick down this much and it would be like perfect, and it would counteract the recoil of the gun, and I would be shooting straight down my sights almost every single bullet, and that was worth it to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening to some of this aiming stuff. I can't remember where I read this or where I got it from, and I'm sure there's other techniques that are out there, you know, like holding X to get into cover while you're running. If you know you're in a gunfight, you just hold down X and you will get into some kind of cover, and then you can move where you need. I think the game might tell you something about that, or maybe it's circle, where if like you hold circle while running, then you'll automatically leap over stuff and parkour things. And little movement tricks like that kind of help out, because then you don't need to think about getting into cover or pressing X at the right time. You just hold it down when you know you need to get into cover, and then run for cover, and you'll get into cover. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys on the battlefield.